Have you ever felt like there's more to you than the life you've been told to live? Not just a vague feeling, but a knowing deep in your bones that you are more than a name on a screen, a job title, a collection of bills and memories. If you've ever had that flicker of remembering, you're in the right place. Because today, we're going to peel back the layers of programming, dig into the science and the stories, and show you who you really are, and how to take back the power you've had all along. This isn't theory. This is your birthright. Stay with me to the end of this video, because once you understand what you're about to hear, you'll never look at yourself or your reality the same way again. We live in a world designed to make you forget. From the first day you set foot in school, you're trained to sit down, be quiet, memorize, obey. Not to listen inward, not to explore the field of your own consciousness. But long before classrooms, before governments, your ancestors knew something that modern science is only just beginning to confirm. You are not just a body. You are not just a mind. You are a field, a living, vibrating frequency. And your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not trapped inside your skull. They ripple outward, shaping the world around you like invisible hands. Sounds mystical, right? Let's start with the science. Every cell in your body emits light. Not metaphorical light, measurable light. They're called biophotons. In the 1920s, a scientist named Alexander Gurwitch first discovered that living cells emit a faint glow. Decades later, physicist Fritz Albert Popp confirmed it with modern equipment. Your DNA acts like a miniature laser, sending out coherent light at specific frequencies. In other words, you literally shine. This isn't fringe science. It's measurable, repeatable, and published. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Those biophotons aren't random. They're a communication network. They coordinate your cells, your organs, and your entire being. And they respond to your state of mind. When you're stressed, your light becomes chaotic. When you're calm, grateful, or loving, your light becomes coherent, like a symphony tuning itself. What you think and feel changes the frequency of your own biology. And that frequency changes how the world interacts with you. If you've ever walked into a room and instantly felt someone's energy, warm, heavy, angry, joyful, you've experienced this. Your nervous system is picking up signals far beyond the five senses. The heart, for example, produces the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. It can be detected several feet away. When you feel love or compassion, the heart's rhythm becomes harmonious. That rhythm entrains other hearts around you. In simple terms, your state changes other people's state. We're tuning forks walking around in human suits. This is where ancient traditions meet quantum physics. For thousands of years, monks, shamans, and mystics have said the same thing. As within, so without. What you think, you become. The world is your mirror. Modern science calls it coherence, resonance, and entrainment. Ancient people called it magic, prayer, and ritual. Different words, same truth. When a Tibetan monk sits in meditation for hours, he's not just calming down. He's training his frequency. Harvard researchers studying such monks found they can raise their body temperature by as much as 17 degrees Fahrenheit using only breath and visualization. They can slow their metabolism, change their brain waves, and even influence their immune system. If the mind can change the body that dramatically, what else can it change? Here's a story that always gives me chills. In 1993, researchers conducted an experiment in Washington, D.C. They gathered thousands of people to meditate on peace for a few weeks. During that time, the city's violent crime rate dropped by 23%. Statisticians ruled out weather, policing, and other variables. The only thing that changed was a critical mass of people focusing their minds on peace. Now imagine if even a fraction of humanity remembered this power. But we don't. Why? Because from birth we're told who we are. We're labeled, categorized, graded, shamed, and distracted. We're told we're weak. We're told the world is dangerous, scarce, random. We're told to fight each other for crumbs, while forgetting we're made of stardust. After enough years of that programming, we believe it. We dim our own light. It's like a lion raised in a cage who thinks it's a house cat. It forgets the savannah is its home. You've been told you're a house cat, but you're a lion. Here's the key. What you repeatedly hear and think becomes your frequency, and your frequency becomes your experience. If you're told you're powerless, you'll vibrate with powerlessness, and your reality will echo it back. If you tell yourself you're worthy, and you feel it, embody it, practice it, your reality will rearrange to match. This isn't wishful thinking, it's physics. Your consciousness collapses probability waves into actual events. That's not New Age fluff. That's the observer effect in quantum mechanics. The double-slit experiment showed that particles behave differently when observed. Consciousness is not a passive bystander. It's an active participant. So when you shift your inner state, you're not just thinking positive. You're shifting the probability field of your life. Your ancestors didn't have particle accelerators, but they knew this. They built rituals, stories, and songs to remind themselves. They gathered around fires and spoke words with power. They used drums and chants to shift consciousness. Entering states modern neuroscience now maps as gamma synchrony, the same brain states monks reach in deep meditation. They weren't superstitious. They were scientists of the unseen. Their message echoes through time. Remember who you are. Let's pause for a breath. Put your hand on your heart, right now. Feel it beating. That's not just a pump. That's a transmitter. Every beat sends out information. Every thought rides on it. Ask yourself, what am I broadcasting? Fear, anger, or courage, love? Because whatever you broadcast, the universe will reflect. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Most people wait for proof. Show me I'm powerful, then I'll believe it. But that's backwards. Belief is the frequency. Proof is the echo. If you say to yourself, I am powerful, but secretly feel unworthy, the frequency you're broadcasting is unworthiness. No affirmation can override a frequency you don't embody. But when you align thought, feeling, and action, your frequency locks in. That's when reality bends. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't take perfection. It takes practice. Every moment you remember, you strengthen that signal. Look at the people history calls miraculous. Not because they were chosen, but because they practiced. Yogis walking barefoot across burning coals. Sufis spinning for hours without dizziness. Mothers lifting cars off children in moments of crisis. These aren't superpowers. These are glimpses of what the human system can do when frequency and focus converge. And you have the same system. We've been trained to outsource our power to gurus, governments, gadgets, to think salvation is out there. But the monks, the mystics, and the scientists all point back to the same place. In here. When you change your inner state, you change your outer life. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens the way a tuning fork slowly brings an instrument into harmony. But it happens. And if enough of us remember, it can happen to the world. So let's take this further. If you truly are frequency, if thought, feeling, and belief shape reality, then how do you use that power? Because here's the thing. It's not enough to know the truth. You have to live it. Knowledge is potential energy. Action is frequency in motion. And the first step is simple. Awareness. Right now, take a look at your own thoughts. Not in judgment, just observation. If you could record the soundtrack of your inner dialogue for the past 24 hours, what would it sound like? Would it be a voice that says, I can't, I'm not enough, life is unfair? Or would it be a voice that says, I am powerful, I create my own path, I am more than I was told to be? Because whether you notice it or not, that inner voice is writing your frequency, and your frequency is writing your reality. Neuroscientists estimate that by the age of 35, 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. Most of them are borrowed from parents, teachers, television, and culture. That means unless you interrupt the loop, you're living the same day on repeat, vibrating with old stories that may not even be yours. But here's the good news. The brain is plastic. It rewires. Every time you choose a new thought, you carve a new pathway. Think of it like this. Your mind is a field. The old beliefs are deep wagon tracks carved into the mud. Every time you drive down them, you reinforce them. But if you start cutting across the field in a new direction, at first it's bumpy, awkward, hard, but keep going. Over time, the old ruts fill in. The new path becomes the road. That's neuroplasticity. That's frequency reprogramming, and it's available to you right now. Let me give you a story. There's a tribe in Africa where, when a child is born, the community doesn't record the birth date. They record the day the mother first dreamed of the child. Because to them, the child exists in the field before it exists in the body. That dream is the true beginning. Now imagine living in a world where your worth was recognized, before you even took your first breath, where your life wasn't defined by grades, salaries, or status, but by the song your soul came to sing. Our ancestors lived in that remembering. We can too. Here's another. In Japan, researchers studied how words and intention change water crystals. They exposed water to words like love and gratitude, then froze it. The crystals formed intricate, beautiful patterns. They exposed water to words like hate and fear. The crystals became chaotic and broken. Your body is over 70% water. Every thought is shaping you. Every word is programming your cells. This isn't a metaphor. This is physics. So how do you reclaim your frequency? Here are 3 keys. 1. Awareness. Catch the loop. Notice when the old programming plays. Don't fight it. Observe it. Awareness is the first crack in the cage. 2. Alignment. Bring thought, feeling, and action together. Don't just say affirmations. Feel them in your body. Act on them in your choices. That's when the frequency locks. 3. Practice. This isn't a one-time event. It's daily tuning. Like an instrument, you need to realign every day. Breathwork, meditation, gratitude, movement. These are not spiritual hobbies. They're frequency practices. You don't have to become a monk on a mountaintop, but monks do show us what's possible. When a monk sits in silence for 10 hours a day, his brainwaves shift into gamma coherence, a state associated with heightened awareness, compassion, and even perception beyond the 5 senses. When a monk focuses on love or compassion, his immune system strengthens. When he visualizes heat, his body temperature changes. These aren't miracles. These are human abilities. Abilities buried under distraction and disconnection. The monk isn't special. He's just practiced remembering who he is. And you can too. Now let me ask you something uncomfortable. Who benefits from you forgetting? Who profits when you believe you're powerless? Small, dependent, disconnected? Because the truth is, a world full of powerful, frequency-aware humans can't be controlled. They don't need constant consumption. They don't obey out of fear. They don't collapse when systems crumble. That's why the programming exists. Not because you are weak, but because you are strong. So strong that entire industries are built on keeping you distracted. But here's the crack in their system. The moment you remember, the illusion breaks. The moment you realize, wait, I am not my thoughts. I am the one choosing them. You're free. And once you see, you can't unsee. That's why you're here. You didn't click this video by accident. Something in you is stirring, remembering. Here's the funniest part of all this. You don't have to become powerful. You already are. You don't have to learn frequency. You already broadcast it. The only task is to remember, to peel back the layers of noise, to quiet the distractions, and hear the hum of your own soul again. Because it's always been there. So let's get practical. Here are 3 simple practices you can start today to shift your frequency. 1. The morning tune. Before you touch your phone, sit for 2 minutes with hand on heart. Breathe slowly. Say 1 word you want to broadcast today. Love, courage, freedom, peace. Feel it. That's your frequency. Carry it into the day. 2. The frequency reset. When stress hits, stop. Close your eyes. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Do this 3 times. You've just shifted your nervous system into coherence. 3. The evening rewrite. At night, instead of scrolling, write down 3 moments when you felt alive today. Doesn't matter how small. That's proof of resonance. You're training your brain to remember you are more than survival. If you do these daily, your frequency will shift. And when it shifts, life begins to echo it back. The right people appear. Opportunities align. Challenges dissolve. It won't happen overnight, but slowly, steadily, you'll remember who you are. And maybe that's the true purpose of life. Not to become something new, but to come back to what you always were. A field of light, a spark of the infinite, a creator walking in human form. So the next time you hear that old voice telling you you're not enough, remember, that's the cage talking, not you. You are the lion. You are the field. You are the frequency. And once you live from that place, you'll see the world transform before your eyes. So, who are you really? Not a number, not a label, not a cog in someone else's machine. You are consciousness. You are vibration. You are the universe, remembering itself through human eyes. And when you finally own that, you'll stop waiting for the world to change. You'll realize the world has been waiting for you. If this message resonated, don't just close the video and forget it. Carry it, live it, share it. Because every time one of us remembers, we make it easier for others to remember too. And together, we can be the lighthouse for those in the dark. This is Valkyrie, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.